Hey everyone, TJ Hernandez here, and I'm the founder of RosterCoach.com, a classroom-style video-based website that's designed to help you improve your daily fantasy sports game. To give you an idea of what RosterCoach has to offer, here's a preview of our most recent lesson on general GPP strategy in MLB DFS. If you enjoy what you see, please like and share the video, and don't forget to leave a comment below.
Hey guys, Tom Bluco here for Roster Coach, and today we're going to be talking about MLB DFS from a tournament perspective this time instead of a cash game perspective. If you haven't yet seen my cash game basics breakdown, you can find that on the Roster Coach page. Put that up last week, so this week going to talk more about tournaments, give you a quick rundown of the basics that go into tournaments. A little bit of strategy, how it differs from cash games, and kind of just stay on the surface of what you need to know to play in tournaments on DraftKings. Most of these tips, like I said in the cash game video, can translate over to FanDuel or other DFS sites. I'm a DraftKings guy, so I keep it to what I know best. But you can definitely use these tips to help you out in other DFS sites. As May winds down and we get into June, we're going to start firing off many more of these MLB DFS videos. Still kind of getting our crew together and getting things going after the long NBA, NHL type seasons. But we really are going to get firing on these MLB videos. If you have anything you'd like me to cover, please hit me up on Twitter at BellRoto and let me know what you'd like to hear about. Some of the things I have in the back of my pocket right now that I want to get into are park factors. We want to do an overview on Fangraphs, talk to you guys about Fangraphs.com, all different tools you can use on Fangraphs, things like that. I know Ryan Shepard, I believe, is going to be doing a bunch of videos that break down MLB tournaments more closely. If you are waiting for more advanced information about MLB tournaments, that is coming in the near future. And before I kick off here, I'm going to talk a lot about the contrarian approach to tournaments and how that's a big difference between cash games and tournaments, the contrarian idea. And I know there's one video by Sammy on the website right now that has to do with contrarian stacking. And we'll talk a little bit about stacking here in a bit. I don't get too much into it and too in depth into it. I'm just going to give you the kind of different types of stacking. If you want to know more about the idea of contrarian stacking, please visit that video by Sammy on the Roster Coach website. All right, so first things first, when you're playing MLB DFS tournaments, you want to start at pitcher, much the same way you do in cash games. For me, picking a pitcher in tournaments is very similar to picking a pitcher in cash games. As I discussed on the cash game video, the variance for pitchers is much lower than the variance is for hitters. That is because pitchers throw up to 100 pitches, sometimes a little more, and batters get 4, maybe 5 chances a game to get to the plate and possibly get a hit, get you some points, maybe walk. And pitchers have many more opportunities to prove that they're worth, if you will, in DFS. So there's much more opportunity for them to right the ship, to really demonstrate their skill level, so we can predict what they're going to do much more often than we can for hitters. So if you're going to pay up for pitcher, same in cash game, you really should guarantee those strikeouts. As I mentioned in the cash game video, strikeouts are king, especially on DraftKings, based on the price you're paying for these pitchers and the floor you want to achieve. These strikeouts can really help you solidify that floor. And if you're going to pay down for a pitcher, get a cheap pitcher rather than one of the more expensive ones. Probably that's more of a contrarian approach for sure, but you should make sure that pitcher can match the expensive pitcher's Ks. Will it happen every single time that you go this route? No, but the potential for them to match the Ks of the more expensive pitcher should certainly be there. If we look over here at today's afternoon slate on Sunday the 21st, we have Yu Darvish, who's probably going to be the most popular pick in the afternoon slate. And he's really, really expensive. If you were to go down to someone to be contrarian, maybe someone like Zach Godley, who's shown a more increased strikeout rate the past few starts, or Eduardo Rodriguez, who we've seen with a high strikeout rate. He might be your second pitcher to begin with, so maybe a Rodriguez and a Godley pairing if you wanted to pay up for hitters and get away from this really popular Yu Darvish pick might be a way you can go about that, especially with the rain coming into Texas and Detroit. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later as well. Probably not go to the park right now, actually. When there's weather, that's going to drive down ownership on players when there's weather concerns. So keep that in mind. If you feel that the game is safe, but the rain cloud there is going to scare off some people, you can get a guy who you'd normally have at a higher ownership at a lower ownership because the rain is scaring some people off of him, especially for pitchers, since they could get their start delayed and pulled middle of the game, maybe 3 innings, rain delay comes, they get pulled out of the game. So keep that in mind as well when you're trying to predict ownership. We'll get to the ownership portion a little bit later here. But that's one little point I'd put out there. If you're going to pay down for a pitcher, make sure you can match those Ks of the higher priced pitcher. Sometimes it's not warranted, and there's no reason to try to stretch that, because the high priced pitchers more often than not are just that much better than the low priced pitchers. DraftKings does a good job of pricing them that way.